We are slowly moving towards the end of 2022, so I decided to take a look back at the titles that gave me a good time in 2022. And surprisingly, none of my favorites were released in 2022. I just stumbled upon these titles in 2022 and found them to be a ton of fun and would totally recommend these titles to anyone looking for something nice to play. The very first title has to be Dead Rising 3. I had a blast with it and it was really fun. And it was super arcadey, it was a stress buster for me. The really funny thing is that we are moving into 2023 and this title is from 2013. It was a launch title for the Xbox One. I was confused for a while between Dead Rising 3 and Dead Rising 4, but I read some reviews and then decided to go with Dead Rising 3 and I have no regrets. The ability to craft crazy weapons and even crazier vehicles was just fantastic, and the game was just a blast right from the beginning till the end, and it was just amazing. It was a feel good title and there was nothing serious about it, and it was just a stress buster. Though there was one thing that bugged me a bit in this game, and that was that there is no reload mechanic for the firearms, which is a bit of a bummer. Like, you have 100 rounds for a weapon, you are gonna fire all 100 without reloading, which is, I mean, a bit immersion breaking even in a title like this, at least for me. But it was a minor issue and it was just a ton of fun. The very first video on my channel was about this very game, and I think I did a horrible job, not with the information that I provided but with the mic. It was just horrible in terms of audio. I've actually had thoughts about deleting that video or making it private, but I decided against it because I have kind of some attachment as it is my first video. But I truly believe that I failed to do justice to the game in that video, and I'm definitely gonna make another one, a newer version, in 2023. Anyways, the second title that I had a ton of fun with in 2022 was The Ascent. I came across The Ascent on YouTube only on a video about Xbox Series games, and I was like really intrigued by it, so I looked up some other videos and I just loved the vibe and feel of this title, and I knew it was something that I'm gonna love. And the reason for this interest was that I'm a big fan of a PSP game called Killzone Liberation. It was a really innovative and really fantastic title for the PSP, and the PSP was a huge part of my childhood, and I love the system. I still have it. I cover games from its library on a regular basis on my channel. Anyways, I got kind of carried away by the love I have for the PSP there. So yeah, The Ascent, it reminded me of Killzone Liberation, and it was exactly like Killzone Liberation and much more than that. It was just grand and it was a fantastic experience. The looks and graphics of this title, they are just stunning, and the gameplay is just fantastic. The RPG elements and everything, the sense of progression is just grand. And the sound design is just bombastic. It is just grand. It is even better than the graphics and the looks. And the explosions, they look and sound great. And there are tons of weapons and all of them sound distinct. And I personally love the sound of a weaker weapon called the Dread. It just sounds amazing. It's like really crazy amazing. The game is just jam packed with awesome content. The only weakness is the story, but the looks, the feel, the cyberpunk theme, everything is just amazing. The augmentations and everything, there is just amazing value for money. But yeah, if it wasn't for Killzone Liberation, I wouldn't have checked this title out, because Killzone Liberation was the first isometric shooter that I played, and it was really tactical. I loved the tactical element and the strategies and stuff. It was like really challenging. And if you loved The Ascent, you should definitely check it out. Even if you are not into emulation, just give it a go, and I'm sure you're gonna have a great time with it. And if you are into isometric games and haven't played The Ascent yet, trust me, you are missing out on something fantastic. Then the third title that I've had a ton of fun with in 2022 and I'm still playing it right now is State of Decay 2. It's just amazing. Back in the day, I was just obsessed with the Left 4 Dead games. And while playing Left 4 Dead, I used to make these stories about the survivors within my head, that they are going out there to scavenge stuff, all the childish adventurous stuff I used to imagine, and State of Decay 2 basically allowed me to experience all that. I got this title back in October, and since then I've had a blast with it. This title has given me some of the best gaming moments in recent memory, and I'm just loving it. This is one of those games that I never knew I needed. And really funny thing is that ever since I've started this channel, I've tried to like stick to an upload schedule and not mess it up. And even when I was like down with fever, I uploaded a video on Call of Duty Black Ops 1. I was like really choked up with the cold and stuff. But after getting this title, I almost gave in to the temptation of missing an upload one day, and it was an upload about this very same game. I was thinking that I've got a very limited amount of time left after work, and should I sit down to make a video about this game or should I just play it and have a ton of fun? There was this small tug of war going on in my head, and I was thinking like, I've got a small channel, who cares if I miss an upload? So I was like thinking that even if I upload something, it's not gonna get a lot of views anyways, but I'm glad that I didn't do that. And the video actually did quite good for the size of my channel, and then I followed it up with another one a few weeks later and it did better than expected and is one of my best videos so far. I managed to interact with some really cool guys, and the community of this game is like fantastic. And there was this guy I would like to give a shout out to, Robert Crane. He answered a lot of questions that I had about this title, and it was just amazing. And the game is fantastic. It is like super realistic, and the gunplay is like really arcadey, but everything else is just so much bound in realism. The game is like a love letter to all the fans of the zombie genre. It is not flawless, obviously, it has its bugs and glitches, but it is fantastic as an experience and is a great game overall. It is just amazing, and for me, it is like the Red Dead Redemption 2 of the zombie genre. It is like a super bang for buck game, and I love it. Then some honorable mentions. I checked out this indie title earlier in the year called Decision Red Dayz, and it was an isometric game, a survival isometric game, and it was really good actually. The combat was really good, but it had some major issues with stamina and stuff, and the stamina actually depleted ridiculously fast, which was a bummer. And I don't know what state it is in right now, but it was, I mean, a decent value for money title, and I played about 10-11 hours of it. I don't know what happened to it afterwards. And then before the ascent, I checked out Ruiner, which was really cool to look at, had some really good graphics, but the environments, the level design was very monotonous. It had this industrial feel overall. And then the combat was really fast paced, unlike the ascent. And it had melee combat along with the firearms. The biggest downside of this title was the lack of RPG elements, and it is a very linear title, but that's not the problem. The problem is the lack of RPG elements and the monotonous environments. But it's a good game overall, just nowhere near the level of the Ascent, and it's like really challenging overall. The difficulty level is quite high. And then another one is Road Redemption, which is like a really crazier version of Road Rash, and it is a ton of fun. It is super arcadey, super unrealistic, and just crazy fun. What are the games that gave you an amazing time this year? Do let me know down in the comments section. And before signing out of this one, I would like to give a big shout out to Chase, as his comments were a huge motivation at a time when I was a bit confused about the channel. And also to FS Videos and Exoma Studios for their really kind words. I wish every single viewer and subscriber of this teeny tiny channel a very happy new year in advance. And thank you very much for watching. Peace out.